Who knows when you were kidnapped, tied up, taken away, held for ransom.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It is January 5th. Wow. Just like that. January 5th, 2026. Hope everyone's feeling well. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 630 Club. Also the founder of Red Dog Mindset. I appreciate everybody who's signed up. You know, I've already did my little workout, 520 at 520, 20 minutes in the sauna with 20-pound weights. Listen to, thought about my positions, thought about what I could do to trim into strength and what could happen today on day 2 of this new year. I know this weekend everyone was like, right, dog, what does this mean when Venezuela? Is the market going to tank? Is China going to be pissed off? Is this, is that, da, 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 da. I'm like, guys, why don't you just wait till Monday morning and see how the world responds? So, what I do is I wake up in the morning, I drink a big glass of water, turned on my sauna, came downstairs, let the dog out, let my mind relax for 20 minutes, and then I'm like, let me take a look. And boom, I look at Europe, broadly higher, Nikkei, broadly higher, China higher. I'm like, world doesn't care about us taking over, or helping out, or helping liberate Venezuela and getting rid of, the narco state terrorists. But anyway, so with that being said, SPYs are up nicely, up 18 handles or 20 handles. So SPYs are up 2 points. Right, still in this range. If you remember, the first day of the year was a little loose and wide. It was a little tough, right? They sold mega cap tech, but they bought the data centers. They bought a lot of the growth names that we like to play. So yeah, Amazon kind of sucked and Apple kind of sucked and Tesla's been down. But a lot of the names that we play had a nice day 1 and they're up today. You don't have to be in everything to make money. So anyway, SPYs right now 685.27. Right in here, this is 686 and so far building well, to start January off. So that's the SPYs in line. Qs were a little loose and wide. They kind of looked at both ends of the range here. So I'm not in the Qs. We'll see how it goes. Maybe you have an inside day. Maybe it rebuilds a little bit. This almost was like Fed day. They squeezed the shorts in the first 10 minutes of the first new year, and then they purged it lower and then kind of ended in the middle. And now the Qs are, Qs are up 4. Okay, so it can't be so upset. So that's participating. The relative strength is coming in at the XLE. XLE actually woke up first day of the year. So if you happen to see the relative strength and in it, congratulations. First time in a while that the XLE had a really big day, while the energy didn't. I mean, not energy, while the Qs didn't. So look at that move right there. It's a big move, and now it's getting some upside follow through. Maybe this Venezuela was the catalyst the XLE needed. I know in my report I talked about how XLE could outperform. We spoke about it a bunch of times in in mid-December. If you look at this weekly chart of the XLE, drew this big cup and handle pattern. If you take a look here. And lots of different areas to I don't know why this is so high. Anyway, maybe that was from the monthly, but bottom line is, oh yeah, because you know why? Because this did a split. Bastard split it. Anyway, with that being said, this is like, this is 48.61. This is 49.50. 49.50 is right here. This is a this is a big, 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 cup and handle pattern. You know, energy has done absolutely nothing for so long. So with that being said, there's been a lot of accumulation, going sideways for a while here. So where's the XLE this morning? Some people think they missed it. It's over. Okay, this could just be the start. It's up 2 at 47.77. So it's not even, it's not even where it was in 2024. It's not even where it was in 2015. So, granted, it's always tough to chase, a move that's up 4.6%. But again, people were looking and waiting for some kind of big catalyst for the XLE and energy, and here you go. Anyway, so we'll see how that's that goes for new entries. But overall, though, I'm positioned pretty well for today. I did buy Bitcoin. Okay, first time it started acting better, so I bought the IBIT. Okay, a lot of the crypto derivatives are up. So congratulations if you happen to go back to Bitcoin, or Ethereum or some of the other ones. I'm in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin right now is up $1.78, so that's nice. Some people are like, well, Red Dog, you said silver wasn't going to make a new high soon. I'm like, well, saying there might be out of performance somewhere else. Like I'm not short silver. I'm not short gold. I just felt like, if I'm going to be in 15, 20 things after that blow off move in the metals, crypto could probably, be a little bit less risky. So I went with IBIT. So there it is. And if you look at, I was in here this weekend. Look at that, setting up shop. You see how cool that is? All my little old stuff's back on the wall. My medals from the Ironman, from Ukraine, this and that. But anyway, I do think Bitcoin has some more room. And some people are like, is this the new active sequence to get it back to highs? I'm like, well, you got to go, step by step. And so far, Bitcoin had a nice move. If you trade Bitcoin over the weekend, I'm like, if we can get above 90,400, there's a decent amount of room up here. So granted, that's not a blockbuster like move that Bitcoin usually has, but you know what? Pretty nice. But then now you have to watch what's the next level here. The next level here is like 94.3. So I trimmed a little bit this morning, and I'm going to give it some room to 94.3-ish. That's a spot. And then it broke down right here. This is like 90, 98-ish. So so again, you have to like frame the trade. And this is the first spot that I figured it can get to, which is right around 94,000. So that's good. And then so trade, if you're trading Ethereum, or you're trading BMNR, or you're trading Mister, just know where levels the easy trade and a tougher trade. So in here it just was looking better. So that was a nice trade. A lot of things have been smashed. So everyone's like points out the things that have been smashed. So don't be in things that are smashed. Microsoft is horrible right now. Maybe repairs, like look at this. Microsoft broke this spot. So if you were in Microsoft, it gave you a reason to get out. Like look at this candle, by the way. First of all, here's your double top in Microsoft. Then it went sideways. It looked like maybe it could break above this area. And guess what happened? Look at that candle. That candle should have got you out of the way if you're an active trader. Should have. And then, and then look at this candle. Now it's all the way down to support. And Microsoft's going to need to do a lot of repair work for me to even look there. And same thing with Amazon. The whole world is bullish on Amazon. And look at this friggin' loose and wide day. This was hard. I will say this was a tough day for Red Dog. I was up a ton of money. Like I was like woohoo. That's why you don't let your highs get too high, lows get too low. Like if you look at this, like got above 233 in the first 10 minutes of the day, on Friday, and then it hit 235 and then failed to hold, right? Don't I say get above and stay above is how you have commitment. If you get above and you fail, that's distribution, and anyway, so Amazon is it's going to need a lot of time for me to repair and get back in there with a lot of tech. Even Apple did the same thing. Apple pushed above a level, and then failed. Look at that. Look how loose and wide this is now. So anyway, got above, failed. It's going to take me a long time to have to, get back in Apple. So I want to go where the easier money is, hopefully easier. A lot of day ones on names that we did really well with last year. So what am I long? I am long iron. Nice day one, right? We talk about day count rules. Look at that. Day one took back some moving averages. I think it's got some room towards 46, and it's still nowhere. So to me, iron and the data centers are doing a little bit better. So iron is a good one. If you took home iron, you know what? Guess what? You're probably making a little bit of money overnight. It's up 4%. Hey. You don't have to be in the XLE. You could have been in this. CIFR is in that little group. Nice day one. So a lot of these things had day ones. Day one giving follow through into day two. That's all you could ask for. I bought Oklo, even though it's a piece of junk, which it really, it's funny. It's kind of like when Tesla's below the 821 day, Elon's not so cool. And when it's above it, he's a genius. Well, this was a great stock until it hit a red dog reversal up here, red dog reversal 183.93, and then it's been for sale since. So this little candle, but between that and the January effect, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy some Oklo. I bought some Oklo calls last week for this week. Calls to just in case, the Taxol selling's over, and trimmed a tiny bit on Friday. And then I also positioned in the stock, and now you look at Oklo, up 3 and change at 81. Nice little piece of business. A trade, make cash flow. So anyway, so this was nice. This probably has room to here and to here. So anyway, that was a good trade. Some guys just want to talk drones before we get into that. RDW, I did add to it. Nice candle. Okay, it's nowhere. Again, these things are nowhere. These things are just if you know how to tactically embrace new sequences. This one just had a nice day one. It's not even through the 200 day yet. This was 25, 20, 11. I was accumulating it in here, anticipating a move, and I still think it goes. Some of you guys are in ONDS. Nice move, actually showing leadership. I had it in here. I didn't go with it, unfortunately. I'll live. I have a lot of RDW. I think this JOBY looks really good. First perk up day where you had a nice candle here. So I was accumulating it, and this had me add. I'm in options in stock. That looks pretty good. Opinion. So everyone's really wants to talk energy now. So you want to go through some energy? Like, okay, Halliburton. Halliburton actually was showing you some nice relative strength before this. Look at that candle. This candle was a lot nicer than Amazon's candle on Friday. So Halliburton looks pretty good. So Halliburton, looks like there's room. If you're not in it, though, you got to be a little careful. Why? Because it's up 10%. When was the last time you were able to buy Halliburton up 10%? But if you bought it on Friday, you're getting paid. Okay, Schlumberger also looks good. It's about to take out this area right here. This is when the last time I told you guys you should be buying it, when everyone was talking about energy. Okay, so anyway, this is 41. These things are all already were in motion. Like somebody knew something. look at this candle here on Friday. So the Donald probably told somebody that they were going in. Did you see the poly market? Somebody bet on something happening in Argentina and won like, I don't know, $400,000. Anyway, nice move here. So yeah, so if you want to be in a basket of these names because you think that the XLE is finally going to get traction, well then, but if you're not in them yet, I'm just telling you, you got to be a little careful buying a huge gap up. You had a little bit of a time to get in right there. Look at that candle. That candle said, hey, relative strength, maybe it's time. So hopefully, you went with that. Palantir is like Tesla right now. It's like, it's a broken name, and it's a name that some profit taking came in. It's a little bit harder. It's up today. Okay. Hopefully you got out of the way when Palantir broke right there. This candle said, get the frick out of the way. Right? Didn't it? If you were playing for an upper flag continuation, that candle on December 26th said, trade changed, and you got out of it and went as low as what? 166.35. That was a tough move. But I don't know anyone in it. If you're in it from like a bunch of years ago, okay, yeah, feels like you gave money back, but you're up a ton of money from a bunch of years ago. So where is their resistance now? So this is what I would think. If you bought into this which is a hard thing to do because it was not showing you any reason to really buy into it. Um, where is it today? It's at 174. I would say this is going to be a big spot to to get rejected at. So if you're looking to re-short Palantir because you covered into this after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down days, just like you don't buy day 5 up, hopefully you covered into that. You weren't shorting it. Now you have some, 177-ish would probably be a spot, or maybe it takes back this whole candle this week and then all of a sudden starts acting better. But, Palantir has been kind of like a Tesla, which has been very weak. Tesla's been very weak. Ever since Tesla failed right here, you had to adjust, right? 495, was it going to go to 500? Well, it went to 495, hit 498 and failed. And then right here was when the trade really changed. So hopefully you reduced your size, you got out of the way. I know I reduced a lot of my size. I still lost a little bit playing the TSLL, this and that. But anyway, what a hard, once it changes fast, my doggies. That's why you have to be on your toes. That's why you have to be ready to react. That's why you have to be prepared, because if you second guess yourself, this and that, and you get stuck in it, I'm just going to hold it, could put you out of business. Anyway, so this is 445 and this is 453. What's Tesla doing this morning? Tesla is up 7. Okay, so it's at 445. Some people are chatting that Musk was with Trump and the president and his wife talking strategy. So maybe he'll get some favorable terms because the EV business is not doing well. And there was some chatter over the weekend too that the robots are not doing well. But anyway, so let's see if we can hold today for the first time. 740, 445. That's a spot. And then right here is another spot. This is 440. What's this low? 449. So if Tesla wants to get better, which I'd love to listen, I'd love Tesla to get better. I make a lot of my money when Tesla's trading well, but when it's not trading well, I try not to have Tesla, blinders on. Anyway, so 445 to 449, is like that would probably be a spot to see if the sellers come back. If they don't, hey, maybe it's a little bit better. I'm not buying this on the open though. And if you happen to still be in some and you're trading around it, trim some and hold some, and see how it goes. By the way, Bitcoin is definitely paying me today. That's nice. Some people are like, well, what about the quantum names? Kind of look like the other ones. I did buy a little IONQ, little red dog reversal here. There's a lot of room. This was at 84. It's not up a lot today. We'll see if it holds and pushes. But nice little move. So again, a lot of things are going. So you have Tesla up if you're in Tesla. You have IONQ up if you're an IONQ. You have Iron up another 450. You have Oklo. You have actually I'm up some nice money this morning, so it's nice. And I did make money the first day of the year. I just kind of could have made a lot more if Amazon and some of those guys actually participated. But anyway, what's up, Ricky G Town? Poet. Everyone keeps asking about Poet. Everyone's so enamored with Poet. Looks better. A few of my friends, I do have fundamental friends that do a lot of big deep dives. Same guys that liked ASTS at 4, you know what ASTS did, and I still think that goes to 150. And Iron at 11 think this thing is going to be like 20 this year or 25. So anyway, it kind of perked up, had a decent candle. For those guys who accumulated into this mess, this was tricky. You finally had your technical move there. So this does seem like, it's gonna take time. This is probably going to take a quarter or two for it to be 15 or more. But if you're massaging it and trading it, that works. What's it doing right now, Poet? Poet it's up 12 cents. So you're not missing much. But again, chart-wise, it's much better. Fundamentally, for those who are trying to go with the space that it's going to be, the embraced for, I'm not even going to get into the fundamental part of it, then stay with it. Put it in your IRA and just close out. Yes. CYBN, I trimmed a lot. It has this gave me my move already. Not over, I think it can go higher, but I was telling you guys at 650 that I like this, that I went to Florida and everyone's taking peptides and microdosing. It could have a big move, and it went to 9. I trimmed most. Now they're they've been at the money offering, so it's going to take some time. MSOS, I am in. I do think that we're going to get some more information about what the real move in the cannabis sector is about, banking and about listing and all that kind of stuff, but it needs to get above here. I'm in a lot of $6 and $7 calls for for February and March, and that's that. Yeah, Nvidia is pretty good. Out of Nvidia looks decent this morning. I think they're presenting today at 4 o'clock. So, maybe it has a strong day and clears this spot. It's still cheap. It's not doing what MU did. People are like, wow, Red Dog, when you were on with Trend Spider, like you talked about being long versus that gap, and I'm still long. If you're still long, congratulations. I'm not. But this is the concept. This is what, if you sometimes see what's a pro gap, tutorial and that T3 always puts out there. It's just a way to buy after earnings. It's a way to buy versus a level, put a swing in. A lot of guys that don't trade for a living that just want to be in awesome names, want my swing strategies. They could be a doctor, a lawyer, wherever they are. They bought on this day. Here was the gap up. This day proved that 246 would hold, and they've been in ever since. Wow. And it's above the 8-day. So congratulations if you happen to be, at your desk. Maybe you work for an insurance company or you're a police officer. I have a lot of police officers. I'm in this new foundation, Community Police Relations, where you see me wearing a big badge. I'm the New Jersey ambassador, so it's something I like to do. You should give back to your community and donate your time and money if you have it. But anyway, Intel's a trade desk. Trade desk, some people are in for the January effect, so I'm going to leave you with that. TTD, I didn't go with this. I just wrote it's a January effect candidate. Look how battered and bruised this thing's been. So it hasn't given you any clues yet that it's ready to go. I'm still in CMG. I think CMG could see the $40 area as a January effect. That's one of my top January effects. I'm still in Nike. I think Nike, had a day off. I think this could get back to the 200-day. That's a January effect. And I'm going to see how it goes. Listen, there's a lot going on, guys. Don't have to be in everything to make a living. You have to pick and choose what you want to be and have a reason why and frame the trade and then manage the trade. It's 6:54. I'm only supposed to be doing the 6:30 club for 20 minutes. It's already 24 minutes. For those of you who locked in to, Red Dog mindsets, you'll have the 6:30 club for all of 2026. Congratulations. And enough of you guys did it where I will do some more Fridays. I've never done 6:30 club on Fridays. It's only been Monday through Thursday. But I told you if you guys sign up, I'll do it. So if you signed up, you're going to get it. And with that said, listen, trim it to strength, book some trades. It's day 2 of the new year. Don't be frustrated. Take a breath and relax and try and stack some days. I'm going to try and be 4 for 5 this week or 5 for 5. And if so, it's going to add up nicely. Reddit. Yeah, Reddit actually looks good too. That's what, I'm not in Reddit, but looks as if, it's showing some leadership status back above the moving averages. Looks pretty good. I was in this a lot down here, another gap. But anyway, gets above this 245, it could see the highs. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Go do your work. I'm going to do my 40 charts with the Alpha team. Going to hang out with my crew and, do the right thing. All you could do is try and do the right thing and have multiple plans and wait to see which way the market goes with it. Because it's only an opinion unless the market confirms it. Then it turns into a strategy and then a way to make money. Thanks, guys. Keep working on yourselves.